The primary sources of big data is cloud, and the advent of big data also accelerated the development of artificial intelligence. There are three dimensions of big data. First is high volume. It indicates the the amount of data. The second one is high velocity, indicates the, the speed of processing. And lastly, we have high variety. This is the number of types of data. Of data. We can also improvise some like veracity or value, whatever. But basically, there are three dimensions or three or definition properties of big data: volume, the amount, velocity, the speed, and the variety, the number of types. The illustration of mining capability. First is association, second is classification, third is clustering, and lastly is anomaly detection. Association, for example, that like a priori algorithm, frequent pattern tree. For in this example, it's like given a set of transactions, we want to derive a certain rule that indicates the occurrence of some items will, will lead to the occurrence of others. For example, the rules discovered here is that the person or the customer who bought milk will oftenly bought bread. Similarly, the customer who bought diaper will bought beer. So these some rules that we can discover is called the association in the example of transactions. Classification, like decision tree, support for vector machine neural network, k-nearest neighbor Bayes or naive Bayes classifier. The example we raised here is we train is given the refund, the marital status, the taxable income, and given the three attributes of each person, we will decide whether it will cheat on its partner. For for these training data, we will learn a classifier and we will build a model. And given the test data for unknown person, we will decide based on the trained model whether he or she will cheat on the others. This is an example of classification. The third illustration of mining capabilities is clustering. We have k-means. We will introduce k-means or PAM, or you can call it k-methods. So PAM stands for partition among methods. I'm not sure whether it is the correct one. And DB scan. DB scan is density based. Let's say density based spatial spatial clustering of application with noise. Okay, so for the given graph here, we have a Euclidean distance-based clustering. This example, the clustering simply and simple idea is to maximize the intercluster distance and minimize the intra-cluster distance. Intercluster, so there's the cluster A, cluster B, cluster C. We want to maximize the distance between these two groups and minimize the distance within each group. So from a simple point of view, it is unsupervised and what else? What else can we here? Unsupervised. Okay, basically, okay. That's the main three illustration for mining capability: association, a set of rules, classification, and the clustering. Unsupervised, one of the unsupervised learning. And lastly, we will have an anomaly detection. Basically, we want to detect what? Detect behavior that deviates from normal behavior. Uh, from the normal behavior. And its application can be like the credit card fraud, fraud, or network intrusion, etc. That's it. So we went through the three dimensions of big data: high volume, high velocity, high variety, and the four properties in illustrating the mining capability: association, classification, clustering, and anomaly detection.